and then we'll look at another one after this, and then that should help it. You look at this one and the other one. So Psalm 78 and verse 47.
He destroyed their vines with hail and their sycamore trees with frost.
So the Lord doing all this to Egypt. Keep reading.
He gave up their cattle also to the hail, and their flocks to hot thunderbolts. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble by sending evil angels among them. He made a way to his anger. He spared not their souls from death, gave their life over to the pestilence.
Okay, so like notice here, he talking about what he did to the Egyptians, and he's like basically he killed them. But you see, he's saying that he sent this evil angel through there. So all the works that was going on down in Egypt, the Lord got an evil angel running through there, which we would say is the devil. You know what I mean? Even though when he talks about it like that, he sent his angel. We don't equate Satan to being that angel because it's like, dang man, how does his angel? But I'll give you another example though of let's look at this Chronicles. I'll give you another example here in Chronicles. And so like this death, when he's sending like these pestilence and stuff like that, you know, basically in so many words, when we look at today's lesson and it said that Satan came down, woe be to the inhabitants of the earth. Like that's what we read in Revelation 12. Like when Satan here, when issues and problems come, he the one that's bringing it. Even though the Lord is bringing it, we understand that because it say like, can evil be done in the city and I don't do it? But still, like for example, perfect example, this virus that's going around. You know what I'm saying? Like this plague. Like this ain't nothing but evil angels doing what they do. Or they just got angels. How do you want to look at them? They just function in the way that they, you know, doing what they're supposed to do. But let's look at another one here. First Chronicles, I think. And no, let's go to Samuel. That'll might make it easier on me. I could either go here. Yeah, I want to try here. Second Samuel, chapter 24, and passes upon Israel. Yeah. All right, so let's start at 2 Samuel chapter 24, and let's start at verse 12. And when you get there, go ahead and read.
Go and say unto David, thus saith the Lord, I offer thee 3 things. Choose thee one of them, that I may do it unto thee. So Gad come to David and told him and said unto him, shall 7 years of famine come unto thee in thy land, or wilt thou flee 3 months before thine enemies?
So he's talking to David, and he's like, yo, I'm gonna give you an option of what can be done to you for counting Israel. Go ahead.
For thy enemies, while they pursue thee, or that there be 3 days pestilence in thy land. Now advise and see what answer I shall return to him that sent me. And David said unto Gad, I am in a great strait. Let us fall now into the hand of the Lord, for his mercies are great, and let me not fall into the hand of man.
So he picking and he like, man, I'd rather fall into the hand of the Lord, not the hand of man. So the Lord gonna send a pestilence through here. Go ahead.
So the Lord sent the pestilence upon Israel from the morning even to the time appointed, and there died of the people from Dan even to Beersheba 70,000 men. And when the angel stretched out his hand upon Jerusalem to destroy it, the Lord repented him of the evil.
So we seeing that this angel is here and the plague is coming. And again, you know, it said, and when the angel stretched out his hand upon Jerusalem to destroy it, the Lord repented him evil and said to the angel that destroyed the people, it is enough. So like he telling him to stop what he's doing. So this, if when we see death, and I know we see the Lord, but really like we saw before, we saw an evil angel go through there. And really, Satan is partially responsible. And when I say partially responsible, like let's look at this Genesis 3 real quick. Going back to the lesson, when he even introduced sin, because like we said before, he was like, "You the father," he was like, he told him, he said, "You was a murderer from the beginning." That's what he told him in John, talking about Satan. Like he was a murderer from the beginning. So who did he kill? So, and what I mean by that is, I'm gonna go back to that scripture that we read today. I think it was John 8. John chapter 8, and it was like verse 40 something. Yeah. So I'm gonna read this and then we're gonna go back and then we'll look at it again. So he said, John 8 and 44. He says, he's talking about, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning. So who did he kill? He killed us. He killed man. Then he said, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So he's even expounding to you on how he killed man. Now, you might be like, but that was the Lord's sentence. Yeah, it was. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, though, he still bears some of that burden of responsibility. And that's why when we go to Genesis chapter 3, he gets cursed. You know what I'm saying? Like if he wasn't guilty, he don't get cursed. But when you look at Genesis 3 and verse 17, it said, and the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle. Did what? You just murdered mankind. You know what I'm saying? And like now you bringing that woe that's on you, you bringing that woe on everybody else. Because when we're talking about that woe in Revelation 12, it said, woe be to the inhabitants of the earth. Because he got kicked out of heaven. It's like, woe be here. And it's like, now you torturing all the rest of us. So even like another example, I don't know, and tell me if you don't remember the story. But you know, when my man was possessed with the legions, and so and he had some demons on him, and so the demons, they was like, cast me off into the pig. Then the pig, his first thing was he went and killed himself. So what we're saying is that Satan, that's a part of his MO. His whole aura is the opposite of life. That's a good way of looking at it. That's what he about, the opposite of life. So going back to Hebrews chapter 2 and looking at your question again, looking at the scripture itself, Hebrews 2 and verse 14, right? Okay. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, referring to Jesus, that through death he might destroy him that had power of death, that is the devil. So go ahead.
I guess my real question is, because you see the angels having power over the winds and all different elements, but I don't know, it just seems like he didn't have power over death before Jesus died.
Right, I understand what you said. Basically, what it sounds like Paul might be giving him too much credit. Yeah, I got what you're saying, and I don't think Paul is giving him too much credit as much as we putting too much on what he's saying, power over death, because we know he doesn't have power over death. He just got something to do with all the problems that go on. That's who the Lord gonna use. You know what I mean? But it's not. He doesn't have the authority because based off of us saying Satan has power over death, that would sound like Satan could determine who he want to kill. And we know it doesn't operate like that. So that's not what he's meaning by power over death. Paul is just saying this dude done brought death, he breeds death, he's responsible for death. That power over death. Not as much as saying he has the authority to make decisions on who live or die. Because even when we look at the scriptures in the old, you know what I'm saying, and we see he under the charge or command of the Lord, and it's still like that to this day. It's not like he on on random. So I think that the way we're perceiving. See, I follow you now. You know what I'm saying? Like when you say power over death, we're looking at it as if we taking this that literal. Like he got power over death, but it doesn't have to be that literal in the sense of the terminology, power over death. It's just saying like this dude here, he just like I give you another example of the same term. Let's go to Ephesians real quick. Ephesians, I think that's what I want. Either that
or Abel's blood is now screaming when Cain killed Abel, he was like, now your blood is screaming for me, you know.
Yeah, but no, we're gonna show in the scripture.
You to do things that you want to.
No, he got power over death, like he there. Kind of what you saying too, like this his world. So
basically he has the power over death, but God has the ultimate power.
Yeah, but not to the point that not to the point where he could just decide I'm going to kill her or anybody. But at the same time, when the young man go down and shoot the two young boys, Satan was right there. You know what I'm saying? He was all in that young man mind.
So
you know
now
what I'm
he
saying?
gonna get the death penalty. So basically,
right. So even though he put that own death on him, Satan was the whole authority of that.
I think I got it.
But we're gonna look at one more and then I'll Ephesians 2 and we'll start at 1 and then maybe this is just add to it.
somebody.
Death and life is in the tongue.
Yes, the death and life is in the power of the tongue. You know what I'm saying? And that we know that what he's saying, like I say, he was a murderer from the beginning. So if he talking to anybody, it's to bring death. That's why it's like he has power over death. Ephesians 2, and let's pick it up in verse 1 and 2 real quick.
And you have he quickened, who were dead in trespasses and sins, wherein in time past ye walked according to the curse of this world.
So he said, used to walk according to the course of this world, according to who?
According to the prince of the power of the air.
Who does what?
The spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience.
So now it's calling him the power of the air. The king of the power of the air. Like that word power, though, like we know he ain't got ultimate power. Like, because if that's the case, we wouldn't breathe this air.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? Like, we know that God, we can look at Revelations and show before Revelation chapter 7 that before God decided to destroy the world, that he sealed Israel. You know what I'm saying? Or he sealed 144,000 plus some more. So what we're getting at is he's still the prince of the power of the air. You know what I mean? Like he still regulate all what's going on. This is his planet. But at the same time, though, not outside of the boundaries of how God tell you to function. You know what I mean? So really, you got that. You know how I look at it? I was talking about this with somebody else. The devil is God's left hand man. You know, Jesus is right man. That's the left hand man. Like he doing all the bad stuff that I want done. He gonna do it. And you know what I'm saying? Because it all gotta line up with the plan. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta line up with the two witnesses the beast and the antichrist at the end. It gotta line up with us throwing Satan in the lake of fire. It gotta line up with Hitler coming on the scene. Mussolini you know what I'm saying? Everything gotta line up. So Satan gotta play with inside that realm. With inside that realm, you get free reign to make a go though. So hopefully. Okay.
He the taskmaster.
So Satan, the Bible says that the angels of the Lord encamp around those who fear the Lord. Okay? Right? So if people are not doing so, he has permission, general permission, to do what he normally does, just being evil and being wicked.
Yes.
And being a murderer.
Yes. Doing whatever. But like you're saying though, like sometimes he got the what's that, bipolar and the paranoid schizophrenia. You know what I'm saying? Because you know some of them people they snap. You know what I mean? They do crazy. You know what I'm saying? Satan right there. But even on just at the what was the club they had in New York, Studio 54? He was all up in that studio at night and everybody here. You know what I'm saying? Like just he got free rent, like you said. Like it tell you in Romans, to whom you yield your members, to whom you shall obey. So once you called it all right. You know what I'm saying? As godly men, we have angels around us that's protecting us. That's what the Lord told. That's what Satan said to Job. He got a hedge of protection around him. How can I mess with him? You know what I'm saying? But the more wicked you do, the more you invite evil angels to come. And the more righteous you do, the more you invite the Spirit of God to come. So now if you're going to live in wickedness, and then you can maybe put yourself in a situation to where you like my man who was like, well, what's your name? We are legion, for we have many. See, now the angels of God can't even get around that dude until the Lord cast him out, though. But yes, to your statement,
So he just has general dominion to do what the Lord permits him to do.
I know, right? Yeah. It's funny though, because it's kind of like you got general permission to do what the Lord permits you to do. It's always like you still getting permission, but yay and then no, because this is his world. Like we just read, he's the king of the power of the air. So everything functions and operates already on, when somebody robbed the bank, that was all him. You might be like, well, that had to be the Lord will. No, that was my man will. You know what I'm saying? But it's still not gonna fall outside the realm of how God operates.
I see it like he has power to make you sin.
Yeah.
Once he gets you to sin, that's what that
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
He tries to trip you up,
Yeah.
deceive you, all those things.
What he's there for.
So quick question.
That's his task.
So is that so the plan, right? The overall plan. They give us where Satan and 1/3 of the angels were deceived and they got cast down onto the earth. Is the entire
I'm sorry, that's her. She's just blowing me up, leaving me all kind of messages.
Sorry.
Talking about people in the class. Like she's talking about you right now. Not just playing. Not just playing, but go ahead, bro.
Turn your phone. No, I'm kidding.
No, you're good.
Once.
No, you're good. I'm
But
good.
right,
The plan.
the plan.
Yes.
So iniquity was found in Satan.
Mm-hmm.
Was the plan when they were in heaven with the angels? This is before the existence of man. Was that ultimately the whole plan for us? Because we didn't exist, there was no sin for human.
I understand. That's a very good
There's
question.
no offering, like there's no one sacrificing. But Satan sinned before we was here.
I know.
So is that part of the whole game plan?
Very good question.
Yes.
Y'all get his question?
No.
Very good question.
She's saying right now.
We're gonna go to Isaiah as we answer it.
No.
And well, his question is, okay, but Satan sinned in before man was even in existence. So, like I said, iniquity was found in him.
That Satan, he knew that God was gonna create us. So.
Make man? Could.
Yeah, maybe.
He
Could.
knew.
But
He could've.
But he just wanted to be God. So.
He could have.
But
he
he
could
wanted
have.
to be God, so they kicked him out because he couldn't be God. So then he said, "Well, now I'm gonna destroy what you love the most."
Something it was the angels, because I'm looking at it, the angels were already there, right? And then they said, "Let us make man in our image." So they made a game plan. Said, "You know what?" So I'm trying to think: is that a new plan, or is that still part of the same?
The initial point, right? I got you. Oh, we're gonna answer that. Book gonna answer that. Let's go to Isaiah 46:8. Your question is excellent.
They had to get a new plan.
Right.
What new plan?
He has,
trying to see
right.
if there was.
But really, the plan is there because, like we say, he was slain from the foundation of the world. So that means that his death was planned at the foundation. So that means when we look at our chart per se,
Right.
his death is planned here, which means what Satan did is already in effect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like Satan messed up after he saw mankind here or something. Because that would be the counter. If Satan messed up after that, woe be to the inhabitants of the earth. Like, yeah, so he about to go down there. So now the question is, because I have the answer in my head. Right. So but the question is, so what's going on? You dig what I'm saying? But here's number one. Let's read this first. Isaiah 46. Let's pick it up at verse, what we said, 8. Go ahead.
Remember this, and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O you transgressors. Remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me.
And what do?
Declaring the end from the beginning, and from the ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
So that's rule number one, is from the beginning, he declared the end. Here's the catch, though.
beginning to us or beginning to
Nah, the beginning of the only beginning available is in the beginning.
what was written,
Right. So that's the only beginning we'll work with. And where does Satan start doesn't matter so much because Satan is created. Just follow it. That's why I started to know the answer. Satan is created.
Right.
Now let's go to Romans. I'm gonna show you what I mean by Satan is created. Romans 11. No, Romans 9. Now we use this for most other things, but I'm gonna show you here how this is gonna work for this. Verse 18. Romans 9 and 18. Satan is created. Remember that. So basically, everything Satan do is what he was created to do. Like if you the computer programmer, everything the computer do is how you program it. So all the moves Satan on, he was made to be that way. So then, yeah, you on autopilot. You know what I mean? So yeah, you was gonna do this anyway. But we're gonna read Romans 11 and 18. I'm sorry, where I get 11 from? 9 and 18. That's because I'm getting old. What you about to say?
So is Satan like the evil God created? Can you say
I
that?
create good and evil. He said that.
Okay, don't make a lie.
Yeah, but he says I create evil.
Yeah.
And he even say he
Yes.
is evil.
Yes,
All right.
I mean,
But he did also
when I
say-
say that, I'm like, yes, I would agree. I would agree that
He
he
did
is.
also say his
From,
perfect.
if we take everything that we done seen about Satan, yes, he is the evil that God created, and he knew what he created. And I guess God's so sweet that when he creates evil, it don't even start off that way.
right, because he said that.
You know what I mean? Like
He's
that's
not
ultimately what we saying, because we saying this dude started off as an angel of light
Until iniquity was found in him.
until iniquity was found.
It's not like necessarily created Satan to be evil, but Satan fulfilled. Because if you continue reading 11, in that same verse was in Isaiah, it sounds like, you know.
So going back to we'll go back to that. Let's read the Romans 9 now. And then we'll go back to you talking about Isaiah 46?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because we'll look at another one there too, but we'll look at that. So Romans 9 and pick it up at verse 18.
Therefore, have he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will have he hardeneth. Thou wilt say then unto me, why do he yet find fault?
All right, so what that statement was, he gonna have mercy on whom he have mercy, and who he hardened, he gonna harden. So then your statement is, how do I find fault in anybody? Because we see man can sin just like the angels can sin, meaning sin can fall on either individual. So then your question is, well, then how do you find fault if God is making anybody do, like if God making you be what you are? But ultimately, he is the creator. He ain't making you do nothing. He just created you. Like if you created a virus on your computer, he gonna be a virus. You know what I'm saying? Like I know what you're supposed to do, but keep reading.
And I'm saying, for whom have resisted his will,
Right.
Nay, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against God? Shall the things formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Have
He's
not,
not even gonna say, like Satan not gonna ask him, why you make me like this? He ain't even you are that. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Black Widow spider. She's not gonna come to the man and say, why is it that I keep killing you after we have babies? Yeah, that's what the Black Widow spider do. Right. Like, no, that's what her natural instinct is to do. So it doesn't matter that she's doing it. And so the same with Satan. Satan not gonna come to the Lord like, man, why you keep having me do your evil? And you're gonna punish me for it. Like, so he's saying, nay, but oh man, verse 20, who art thou that replies against God? Shall the thing form, Satan in this case, the devil, say to him that formed it, why you make me Satan? You wouldn't even be Satan asking that question. All right, keep reading.
have not the potter have power over the clay?
Right, he's saying, look, don't the potter, the one that's doing the creation, have power over the creation? Go ahead.
Of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? What if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endure with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction.
Okay, that's good. So we gonna go back to the Isaiah now, because you were saying read verse 11.
Yeah.
Okay, Isaiah 46. So we'll read 10 and 11. So, but when we look at that Romans, like, look, he's just saying, I make you what you are for whatever my purpose is. So, like, Judas had to come. So, how do we play Judas into the equation? Well, one of the people that was with Jesus had a evil spirit on him, right? All of them did, though. But this dude couldn't overcome his. And when I say all of them did, because man deal with devils daily. You know what I'm saying? But the objective is to overcome it. He couldn't overcome it and end up succumbing to the money, right? When it's all said and done, he said his reputation was that he was a thief. And what he ended up doing was selling out Jesus in the end, justifying himself to turn him over to the Sanhedrin. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't overcome his issue. But all the men got issues, though. You know what I mean? But the point is, but he had to, that role was spoken of before his life existed. But God knows when he come on the scene, he gonna be the one that can't overcome. Now let's say hypothetically, Saul wouldn't have. See, that's just it. It ain't no hypothetical to it. That's like saying, what if Adam didn't listen to Eve? You know what I mean? Like, man was built that way. Ain't no way we could have walked around that. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how that play. Even though you would like to say, but what if? But there's no such thing. Once it's done, it's done. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I wish I wouldn't have. I wish I would have stopped. I wish I would have went on ahead and went. So anyway, Isaiah 46, pick it up at 10 and 11.
Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Calling the ravenous bird from the east, the man that executeth my counsel from a far country. Yeah, I have spoken it. I will also bring it to pass. I have proposed it. I will also do it. Hearken unto me, ye stroke-hearted that are far from righteousness. I bring near my righteousness. It shall not be far off, and my salvation shall not tarry. And I will place salvation in Zion for Israel, my glory.
So he telling you here in verse 11, like, basically it ain't no, he like calling a ravenous bird from the east. Like, he said that's what he do. Like, he said, like, that's like he exercising. Because he said in verse 10, declaring the end from the beginning, from ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasures. Calling a ravenous bird from the east. Like, if he called a bird, he gonna come. The man that execute my counsel from a far country. Like, if I say somebody gonna execute my counsel, that's what they're gonna do. No matter from east, west, whatever. Yea, I have spoken it. I will also bring it to pass. Like, the Lord, like, saying, it's written, then it's gonna come to pass. So ain't no getting around Judas. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can't eliminate. Judas couldn't even read that and comprehend that, let alone figure out how to eliminate himself. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause that's what you would think. You would think, man, if I was Judas and somebody gave me the scrolls and I saw 30 pieces of silver, like, you got to offer me one less or one more, but we ain't gonna hit 30 on the head, because that's in the Bible. Like, that's what you would think. But you got to understand something too. In this same book, he says this in Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 11 and 12. And so God can do this to you, so you don't even see it's you. And what I mean by that is like we're gonna look at it from this perspective. So Isaiah 11, 29 and 11. Go ahead.
And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed.
So the book coming to him, and it's like, well, it's sealed to him. So the point that we're getting at is the Lord can have something right in your face and you don't even see it. So like with Judas, because you would think rationally that if I had any clue of me being in the Bible, it's just like if it say in the Bible, a brother gonna come named Jose, and he gonna jump off a roof and kill himself. Well, Jose, you would figure he read that, he like, I ain't never getting on the roof. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna make sure, because his name Jose, I'm never getting on the roof, you know. But at the same time, if it's meant for him to get on that roof, then the Lord he gonna find himself either he gonna read it and it's never him, or the Lord, he gonna find himself on the roof for some dumb reason and be like, hey, the Lord said, right. That's how I be playing the game. Like, I ain't the only Jose. We're gonna get another Jose up there. That's 5'6". You know what I mean? But so hopefully though, and it don't seem to me like you got much more of a question, but hopefully we picked up some more understanding on the subject in this entire period. All right.
It's kind of like, we wonder how the Sunday preachers can keep preaching how they're preaching. They don't see themselves as being the false prophets or the ones with the reprobate mind.
Well, that's what that was talking about.
Yeah, they don't see themselves as be the one to lead people to the lake, even though that's them. So that's why they're gonna keep doing what they're doing. You know what
But don't they know that we're the truth? They have to know.
They don't
Deuteronomy
they don't think it's
No, that's what this
Like, they
scripture
don't
and
see
I.
Deuteronomy
No, but
28.
this is what this scripture in Isaiah is saying. So we're gonna come back to this Isaiah 29, and I'm gonna pick it up at 9. He says, "Stay yourselves and wonder, cry ye out and cry. They are drunk, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink." Verse 10.
For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and have closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers, the seers have he covered.
So we're in Isaiah chapter 29 and 10, and notice what he said in verse 10.
Yeah, no, I got it. No, I got it.
Oh.
That was,
Oh,
I know
you're
you
looking for
mean.
something else. Okay.
Yeah.
So Isaiah 29 and 10, notice what he's saying. He's saying, for the Lord had poured out a spirit on them. So these ministers out here, it's a spirit on them why they don't get it. Why they picking up a book and it's not talking about them, so they say. Verse 11.
And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed.
Right, so he's not going to directly tell you that, but that's basically what's going on. It's sealed to them. So
like they don't know, but they must know Deuteronomy 29. They have to know like this.
They don't see it's them though. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But
I
they don't see
mean,
it's us. Forget about that.
no, some don't though. Jasper Williams, 1991, down in Georgia, said that we was the Hamites. You know what I mean? So then how we the Hamites, and also fit in Deuteronomy 28. That we was under the curse, but we was Ham.
Ships.
I know.
As soon as I saw it, I was like,
I know. I know, but the Jehovah's Witnesses don't. Right, that's what he's telling you. Like, see, that's the thing. You blessed because you see. You know what I'm saying? Right, they drunk, but not with wine. Like they can't. It's like the false doctrine in their head. The Jehovah's Witnesses got a whole nother pamphlet that would show you Deuteronomy 28, and that would show you Isaiah 42. Like seriously, like I was at my house. They was coming all the time. So I got them on the groove, because they like fishing, bro. You got to get them in. You got to slowly try to reel them in, and then all in all, you throwing them back out once they get in the boat. I'm just gonna tell you, because you ain't gonna. I know one Jehovah's Witness that's been converted. I think it might be 2 or 3 more since then, but it's very few. They are very hard to convert. So at any rate, so I showed them Isaiah 42 about how we trapped in prison houses and stuff, right? And I'm like, there can't be nobody but us. Yo, he came back the next week with like a whole nother packet from their church of what Isaiah 42 and what Deuteronomy 28 was. And I'm like, yo. And they was like,
did it say something different?
Something different. And it was like absurdly stupid. And I'm like, y'all really believe in this? Like I'm telling my dude, I'm like, bruh, like this what you expected me to buy? Like, nah, man. Like, nah, this, they blind.
What would it say?
I don't even remember, because sometimes some stupid stuff you can't remember. No, seriously, like it was. But I'm gonna try, because I think I kept the paper, so I'm gonna try to look for it in my desk.
Isaiah 42 and 11.
We've also Deuteronomy 28 and 68. They said it was literal. Go back literally to.
Where they talk about
Yeah,
and that
that was on. Hold on, this is what the
42 and
Deuteronomy 28 was. I remember that
There
one.
was so many slaves, but nobody had the capacity to buy them because there was so many of them. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Why would you? If there's There's a law of supply and demand.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there's no demand for it, why do you need something?
Yeah.
And so they took that literally.
They run with it with their own spill and twist and interpretation. And then Isaiah 42, like I said, they had a packet for that. I'm like, yo, you wild with that. But
Yes.
so that's the thing about these ministers. No, they don't necessarily see
It's 25.
do that.
I am.
And
But I'm asking a lot of questions first, like you read the Old Testament.
Yeah.
And this and that. Then he's like, ooh, then when I catch him out there.
yeah, it's see where that go. Because you're gonna learn. When I say you're gonna learn, I'm saying he may be one that know Deuteronomy 28 is Israel. And then you might want to be like, so right, exactly. Or you might be the one to show them, or you might actually get your answer. Like, yo, I don't see how you. I'm gonna tell you. One time I talked to one of these people. I was like, man, stop playing with me, man. Mm-hmm. Like that was like you. I refuse to believe that you believe what you believe right now. Like that just don't make sense to me. So
it's like when the disciples asked Jesus, "Why you speaking in parables?" He told them because it wasn't given to them; it was given to you to understand the mysteries.
Yep, of the kingdom. Matthew 13. We're gonna look at that, and we'll look at that next. If Whitney looked like he still had a question or a comment.
I didn't know because you good? I don't know. Did I get?
Did you get
your answer?
Do you remember your question?
Do you remember your question?
I know, but what was your question?
We've answered a lot of questions.
I know.
So
what was
I
your?
didn't know if we back on me.
What's your question? That we did go.
If Satan, right? If that was part of the whole game plan, but I guess ultimately, because I know how
we did answer that question. We went to Romans 9. That's where we answered that question ultimately. Right. And but one other scripture we didn't look at is when he said, "I create evil and I create good." But which is, I know how I mentioned it, but does anybody know exactly where that is? Okay.
So that's why I said when he's a murderer from the beginning, are they talking about murder of Christ or murder?
Oh, he killed us.
No, he killed man. Yeah, he killed man in the beginning.
He killed us with his lies.
Right.
So he sinned and then he didn't get everlasting life.
In him, that didn't have anything to do with the plan of humanity.
No, that's correct.
But that didn't affect us.
Right.
Exactly. Even though that was still ultimately the whole plan.
Exactly. Right, but it didn't. The only way it affected us is because you're gonna be the one that get used out of all these people up here. Right. You know what I'm saying? To fulfill the role of the accuser and of the brother, which is what your job was up there. You up here, you run around up here telling on everybody anyway. You know what I'm saying? So here you go now, tell on them. You know what I mean? And then look how Jesus interact with them later. You consider my servant Job? Why is he asking him, do you consider him? Because your job is to run around here to tell on everybody, you peep him out. And he like, yo, I can't do nothing with him because you got this protection around him. He's like, if you take that away with him, then I come and I can. So what is that? Matter of fact, let's look at that real quick. Just that idea of what he's saying. Let's go to Job 1. Because really what he's saying is, if you remove that protection, now I can play my role. I can be who I am and put Job to the test like I do everybody else. But like somebody was saying, the angels around him right now, Satan can't touch him. So let's pick it up at Job 1 and 6. Job 1 and 6. When you get there, go ahead.
Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou?
Where you coming from? That's what that means. You know what I'm saying? In our time, where you coming from? Where you been? Go ahead.
Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
So he like, yo, I've been, you know me, I've been on my thing. I've been up and down on the earth. So obviously something that I learned through the course of time is that when God says Satan come here, God ain't coming to you. You know what I'm saying? So you can, because I thought when he got kicked out of heaven, it was a wrap, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a 0% opportunity for you to ever enter back into the, like, no, when the Lord called you, you come. And we see that somewhere else too. When Micaiah saw that vision. So right here, he said, and the Lord said it to say, where you coming from? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, I'm going to and fro in the earth, walking up and down in it. So what did the Lord say after that? Go ahead.
The Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil.
Right. So right here, he's saying, well, and the Lord said unto him, Satan, have you considered Job? He a perfect man. Now watch what Satan's answer going to be. Go ahead.
Then Satan answered the Lord and said, do Job fear God for naught?
Mm-hmm.
Has not thou made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he have on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and the substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now and touch all that he have, and he will curse thee to thy face.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he have is in thy power. Only upon himself put
So
not.
Glenn, you peeping this one too? And this Job here, when he telling them, he like, so I'm catch you up, even though you probably know the scripture. He say, Satan come up to him at verse 9, he say, answer the Lord. And Satan answered the Lord and said, do Job fear God for naught? And then Satan responds is, well, you don't put this hedge about him on every side of his house, have on every side, bless his work of his hands, so on and so forth. Put forth thy hand now and touch all that he have, and he will curse thee. Now watch what the Lord say. He said, and the Lord said at the same, behold, all that he have is in your power. So just once again, we just showing like when Satan got control or rule over it, basically, but then he gonna give him the limitation here though. But just going back to the initial question, having power of death, you know what I'm saying? Like really, it's just saying like, man, that's your world. You know what I'm saying? Like that's your world, that's your playground, but it's all within the realm of how God allows it. Because watch what happens next. Go ahead.
Does that also include, like, let's say when God says like he hardened Pharaoh's heart, does that also in like that power that he's
so peep this though? Satan is the king of pride. You harden your heart because Satan in your heart. But Pharaoh hardened his own heart, though. Either you like where they say God hardened his heart. Yeah, I can show you where God did something and then Satan did it too. You know what I'm saying? Like ultimately, though, the individual. What I mean by that is like it's God was angry with the children of Israel. So David numbered the children of Israel. Then another scripture said Satan came and tempted David or something to that effect. Like, so what we're getting at is like, yeah, Pharaoh hardened his own heart because he was a proud man and he felt like his God was more powerful than our God. You know what I mean? But yeah, the Lord did harden his heart. But I'm saying, but Pharaoh heart, you follow what I'm getting at? Like you know how what they say, the devil made you do it. You know what I'm saying? Or like, no, the devil don't make you do nothing. The devil do not hold you. Even the craziest of men, the serial killers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's still their brain. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's just that at this point, they have served Satan so long. Yeah. This is what it has taken them to. So it's just like you'll find that when you turn from this, even in the slightest, unless you correct that turn, you'll keep walking down the path and eventually you'll do more than what you thought you would have did. See, so let's say you want to stop keeping the Sabbath, but at first it just starts as simple as, I don't want to go. I'm mad at Sister Lisa. Me and Sister Lisa don't like each other, and I'm sick of her. I don't want to hear her mouth. Her or Jude, in fact. They both get on my nerves. So I'm just going to sit at home and watch TV. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to watch the lesson. Then 26 weeks later, you sitting on the front porch. Then a year later, you at the park. Then 2 years later, you hooping. Then 5 years later, you got a job at the gym on the Sabbath, justifying your then 20 years later, your kids going to prom, and you done did a whole new list of stuff that you would have never did had you never took that slight turn. You got to turn yourself back. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, the more you begin to serve Satan, the more he can use you. And so that's how Moses is. It's just like a man goes into a store and never killed nobody, but he's a thief. But he got a gun, though. You ain't finna rob the store without no gun. Now, next thing you know, bang, the cat behind the register pull out his. The man who robbed the store, he shoots first. Kills the dude at the register and get away this time. So how does next time go down for him? He
gonna
ready.
shoot
He
from the
ready.
rim.
Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? If I got to kill you, I got to kill you. You was not even thinking like that before. And so that's the past. So that's how you take King Pharaoh, king of the world. The challenge is the world versus the king of all kings, God. So he not submitting to that challenge. Same thing in the end. You're going to have the Antichrist. And you're going to have Jesus, the King of Kings. He's not going to submit to Jesus. So he's never going to humble himself. So it's still the individual, even though it do say God hardened his heart.
So it's gonna be like they're not gonna see. So like for example, let's say I'm wilding out. Like
That's exactly what it is.
I'm wilding out. I'm wrong, right? So I should repent, right? I should repent because if I don't, like a little bit of leaven is a lump, right? So that's pretty much what you're saying. So now let's say I don't. I don't adhere to is that part of the whole thing? Like meaning I don't see what I'm even doing wrong. Meaning
Correct.
I don't even see to even repent from what I'm doing.
Right. And here's a scripture to show that too. Let's go to Thessalonians.
That's why it's important for you to your name.
Yeah.
Man. You even see that he got beat up, right?
Don't let Satan put that battery in your back, man.
Second Thessalonians. I'm gonna give you a perfect example of what it's like. It's like these young girls out here.
Don't let Satan that
That's
battery.
gay. And I'm picking at the girls more than the boys. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what y'all men thinking. But like these women that be out here, messing with these other women, they don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like
they don't see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, that you like, and I say this really because I've talked to the women more than the men. Meaning because I have in my family, I have both. You know what I'm saying? But the men, we ain't talking about. I don't even want to talk to you about it. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, we don't hardly even talk. You know what I mean? But the women, you know what I'm saying? I've held different conversations with certain girls. And notice I say girls because I don't want to talk to the old gay girl, the old gay woman in my family either, because you've been gay my whole life. Like I don't get that. Yeah, but I've talked to my younger cousins. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, how do you think like you know what I'm saying? Like you don't think nothing wrong. And I get why you don't think nothing wrong too, though. Why they don't. Why these no, not why this, not why, because they ain't doing nothing. What's two girls doing? Nothing. You funny. But seriously though, but I'm saying, but that's why these young girls don't see that it's still wrong. Because, but I'm saying this is how you can make yourself believe. Like, see, you wasn't even thinking like that. He caught it quick though. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I say I'm gonna use the girls, because that's how easy it is for you to not realize. So for you to reprobate your mind. You know what I'm saying? So now she live here now. She done moved here, and I think she live in the Bronx now. Recently, she done moved here like within the past year. Done talked to me since she been here. Like I'm not coming over there to see you, but she doesn't think that she's doing anything wrong because she's not doing anything. Although she married to some woman though. You dig what I'm saying? But what are you doing though? No, honestly, what are you doing? I've had this conversation with her. Like, so what sin is she committing? Like that. That's how deep the conversation go. I'm not committing adultery, right? You know what I'm saying? You ain't sleeping. You ain't putting. You dig what I mean? So, but that's still a reprobate mind, though, because you done went from that which is natural for a woman. You know what I'm saying? Your thinking. See, people always think about God gonna judge the action. You can fake the action all you want. God gonna judge what you are. What you are is what's up here. You know what I'm saying? Like you might not go commit adultery because you can't get it up. Does that mean that you're not an adulterer? You know what I'm saying? Or does that put you at a unfair advantage than Jude now? Because he still can make a move. You know what I'm saying? So since but you understand what I'm saying? But I'm saying though, but just understand the logic of thinking. You know, like so the answer, the Lord is not judging actions as much as you think. He's judging the heart, what you are. Now, what I see of you comes from your heart. You understand what I'm saying? And it'll be displayed in your actions. But still, like for example, if I lied to you, you might say I hate you. I might be like, no, I'm just a little proud. I ain't want to tell you the truth. You see what I'm saying? Same sin, you can't judge it from the outside looking in. You follow what I'm saying? So the Lord, so you don't know why somebody might steal. You dig what I'm saying? The Lord say some people steal because they broke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And do we despise them is what he said. Nah, I'm not saying that broke people need to go stealing. That's not the point. But the point is, all you see is somebody stealing. You see two, right? You see two people stealing. This person want to get money and this person broke. And you just say, well, they stealing. That's their actions. So they should be in trouble. And what we're getting at is, the Lord is judging the mentality of the part. Exactly. So now, going back to the book, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, and let's pick it up at verse.
Chapter 2, you said?
Yes. Chapter 2, verse 9. I mean, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9, I think. Yeah. Verse 9. Go ahead, bro.
Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion.
So God putting a delusion, back to your statement, on people. But it's not a delusion like, oh, I hate you, someone put a delusion on you. It's the path away 20 years ago, same girl was keeping the feast with us, the Sabbath with us. Same girl who know that on the feast time she can come to my crib and drink with me because she know that's the only time I drink. Because she was around when I made that vow. Is now the same girl who live up here and it ain't wrong being married to some chick because we ain't doing nothing. You see what I'm saying? Like you convince yourself, but God will send a delusion on you. You dig what I'm saying? Like, see, I didn't tell y'all all that at the beginning of the story on why she matters. You know what I'm saying? Or why she would even think, but I ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because that ain't the necessary story from just the typical chick, two girls walking up the street. But from her, she's saying this and she being dead serious though. But you are doing something. You know what I'm saying? Because you know better. So he said, for this cause, God should send them strong delusions. Go ahead.
That they should believe a lie. That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness.
So at some point, somewhere in there, my cousin had some pleasure. It's something she chose over this. And I remember when it happened. You know what I'm saying? When she started, when I'm gonna tell you when it happened. When she moved her butt to California to go to that music school in 2005, when she became the first time she left her mama's house, and instead of rebuking that foolishness that you was around, you thought it was cute when y'all went to this club, and you thought it was cute. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a new environment for you, and it sucked you in, and you justified it in your own mind.
So could she not be written in the book of life, and that's why? Or
could be. I hope that she figured out one day. So, because that's really she really like my little sister. You know what I'm saying? But like, how do you think I know she here? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even really communicate with people that's gay. Yet I will talk to her because that's my partner. But like, I know what's wrong with. Like I said, she'll come when I was in Georgia, because that's where we both live. When feast time come, she come to JD crib. Like she ain't even in the word no more. But because she too ashamed to even try to come, but she'll still come to my crib, sit with me. She know what bottle to bring. You know what I'm saying? Like, how, the last time she came out, I was like, how you knew it was the feast? She's like, I be trying to keep up. Like, that's with her khaki shorts on and her white t-shirt. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So at any rate, y'all, it's that's exactly what she had on too. Her dreads looking like Lil Wayne. And she cute. That's the sad part about it. We're gonna face Jerusalem at 6 o'clock. I'm sorry, y'all. Next time I come, I'll try not to be so long. Huh? No, you want me to come back next week?
He don't do back to backs. He don't do back to backs.
Oh, because everybody else do. Yeah, I did one time. Oh, so I got to do back to backs too, huh?
Yeah, now this could have been part two.
He like,
Hey, you get it?
Close us out, Marlo. Dang, I forgot all about. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Our Father which art in heaven,
Our Father which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come.
thy will be done in earth,
Thy will be done in earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread,
Forgive us our debts,
and forgive us our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
And lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory forever.
and the glory forever.
In Jesus' mighty name.
In Jesus' mighty name.
Amen.
Amen.
I was gonna ask about, so are we, this is us now. So we don't have like 200,000 for that to be the seventh day. So we're already pushing to the seventh day.
Right. I give that. Yeah. Everything you just said. Like, right. That makes a lot of sense too.
We're gonna think, okay, from here's 1,000, here's 1,000. So we're already, we don't know the price.
Yeah, he booked that joint.
That's why I was saying.